Black Ops 4's business practices and Treyarch's buffoonery is super stupid. Oh, what's that? Thank you, YouTube. Just pencil that in for taxes. Battlefield fans are super cringy. More money. I have so much money because all I do is rant about video games. I'm fucking happy about it.
We got somebody down. Yeah. It's Doc.
You're gonna tell me that's not a headshot? For whatever stupid reason, I get criticized on this channel for being too negative, and some people comment stupid things like, why is this guy always complaining? And so today I thought I'd do a video where I just talk about why people like Rainbow Six Siege. Text on screen. Explosion. Shit! No, but really, I thought I'd talk about why Rainbow Six Siege is so fucking cool to me, as a stupid console player who also talks about Call of Duty and Battlefield and other shooters as well. They're out there, I'm sure. This isn't a top 10 list, you're not gonna get any Watch Mojo level quality here, but I am gonna be talking about the reasons I think people like Rainbow Six Siege, and I want you in the comments section to let me know if there's any reasons I missed or am wrong about. Because taking time to think up ideas, jot them down, record and edit them into tasty little videos that you can watch in your free time for free, I'm sure I got something wrong, and you, the commenter, are gonna be more righter than I am. Now let's get into the reasons I think Rainbow Six Siege is being played so much and why I like it so much, and I'm going to be positive in this video past this point, and I am going to actually go and write down my ideas so I don't ramble throughout the whole fucking thing. One of the big reasons I think Rainbow Six Siege is so important is that there's literally no margin for error, and I think people love Fort Butt for the same reasons. Punishing gameplay that is a far cry away from the loose meta style of games like Battlefield and Call of Duty, which really allow you to play however you want, as long as you get kills. If that means sitting in a corner, if that means camping in a helicopter, if that means sitting in a tank, if that means sniping from the back of the map, if that means camping on a hill, if that means breaking the game in some way that people find annoying, whatever. It's loose meta, it's customizable, it's almost like a little sandbox you can play in. That's how I think of Call of Duty and Battlefield, and Rainbow Six Siege and games like Fortnite aren't really like that at all. They allow you to play around with the things on offer, but really, it's a more challenging, stricter meta experience that is far more punishing. There's so much writing on your gunfights, there's so much writing on each little thing that you do. I'm gonna get into that more later, but the margin for error is so small. And it's a nice change of pace from the Call of Duties and the Battlefields and even things like Titanfall or Doom or Destiny, which is, again, is more customizable. It's not that those games don't take skill and don't punish you for being an idiot, because every competitive online FPS game, no matter how easy or small the skill gap is, will punish you for being an idiot, and you will get pushed into the respawn screen more than you like, and end up having a terrible win-loss ratio to boot. But Rainbow Six is a nice change of pace because of how everything you do matters, and that does lead me into my very next point. Every little thing you do matters. Let's say you're playing as Frost, and I know I'm gonna say a lot of operator names, and if you've never played Rainbow Six, they won't make any sense. I'm sorry, it's kind of hard for me to avoid that anyway. So let's say you're playing as Frost, and you decide to put down one of your splat mats, and you just put it in a doorway in case an enemy rushes in. Well, maybe it seems kind of, maybe no one will ever step there, but in actuality, it might save you the goddamn match, because you put it there and the enemy rushed. Like, some things in Rainbow Six are like that. You put something somewhere just in case, and that's like a really good example of how something so little and seemingly innocuous actually ends up being very helpful.
Yeah.
That's a doorway!
Going up by the door.
Every little thing matters. A little fucking peephole in the wall can be the difference between a loss and a win. This is exciting gameplay. This is great. This is like the old style of video game where the little things, the holes in the wall, the type of site you chose to start the match with can be the difference between a loss and a win. It's subtlety in its finest. at its finest, whatever. Look at this clip right here. I'm healing Pulse through a hole in the wall I made earlier, and I didn't even know. He ended up dying because, again, the game is very punishing and things happen very quickly, and also that Pulse wasn't very good. But either way, I wasn't very good either, but either way, just that hole in the wall allowed me to get him up off the ground. A frost mat, a lesion mine, a camera placement can be the difference between a win and a loss. One of the most most great operators in the game, Mira, her whole shtick is that she can place one-way windows in walls. And that can be the difference between a win and a loss, and that's so cool. It's honestly why I don't like global buff abilities in Rainbow Six Siege as much like Lion or Finka, because it's not as subtle, it's not as nuanced, it's not the little things, it's more big, grand things. Everybody has extra health and moves faster. Anybody moves on your team, my drone will spot them and we can see them through walls. I don't mean that those things don't add an interesting layer of gameplay, because they definitely do, but in my opinion, I like things that are more subtle. That's just my preference. Another thing that fucking rocks about Rainbow Six Siege is teamwork. Teamwork definitely makes the dream work in any goddamn game you play. Battlefield, Call of Duty, Halo, Titanfall, Doom, Destiny, Squad, Arma, Overwatch. Just seriously, coordination with your team is paramount to any victory. But because of the every little thing matters and there's no margin for error things I mentioned earlier, because of the reliance on teammates to really pull out victories, I'll talk about that later as well, but because of that reliance, there's so many points of failure. One hole in the wall might get one of your teammates killed, which loses you the whole game, and that's, in my opinion, exciting. It's fucking riveting. And yes, every game has these types of elements to them. Like Call of Duty, you die in under a second, and Battlefield, you can, the whole match, the whole conquest match of Battlefield could come down to you holding a flag. So yes, other games have these nuanced, high pressure, no margin for error, things that rely on good communication and teamwork, but Rainbow Six amplifies that to the nth degree, and it's fucking fun. And the reason it's fun is because it's not just involving those things like every shooter does, it relies on them, and it eats, sleeps, shits, and breathes these ideas in. The whole style of the game is based around working with your teammates and being good on your own as well. I guess that's the next point, is as much as it is a team-based game where good communication leads to better, smarter, more efficient victories, it still comes down to you. Not RNG, not total bullshit. You will get bullshit in Rainbow Six like every shooter, and there are lots of ways to die very quickly in Rainbow. I always say, dying in Rainbow is one of the easiest things you can do in life. I only started playing the game seriously since February, but yeah, it's something I've always said. Even though a lot of your matches will come down to the communication and teamwork that Rainbow Six is known for and it should be praised for, it also comes down to your ability to do the rooty tooty point and shooty. A great way to hook me on a game is, yes, it relies on teamwork, and yes, there's all these little nuances and small things, and communication is key, and oh yeah, and there's no margin for error, and map awareness and situation, yeah, there's all of that. But it comes down a lot of times to for your ability to shoot. This might sound like the meathead Call of Duty player in me, but I like to be able to hold a situation and control it based on my ability to aim and shoot better, faster, more accurately than my opponents. Being a consistent gunfight winner in Rainbow Six is pretty difficult, but damn is it worth doing. So what I'm saying is yes, you can have all this teamwork and technical knowledge, you might know how the maps work, you might know how the game works, you might even know how the game was made, you might even have made the game. But if you don't have that raw reaction time and accuracy and tactical awareness, then you're gonna be you're gonna fuck everything up. That's what I'm trying to say. I was just watching you do your work.
Fucking just watching her get thrown.
But then here's my next point. Let's say you're terrible at the rooty tooty and point and shooty. You're awful at taking out enemies consistently. You choke under pressure and your gunfight skills are terrible. I'm pretty much describing myself, but here's the thing about Rainbow I like. Despite it having no margin for error, despite it having so much emphasis on little nuanced things like, again, holes in the walls, the placement of a certain mine or camera, and this requirement of team communication, and this thing where you gotta know how to shoot. Like, despite all that, you can help your team get to victory by just throwing an EMP grenade at the right spot, by just placing a thermite charge on a big old metal wall, by playing Doc and healing your buddy. Maybe you're terrible at shooting, but hey, you're lying and your teammates say, hey, throw up your drone, buddy, and you go, no problem, buddy, and you throw up the drone. So even if you're shit at like all of the things in the game that are more difficult and take a lot more time and practice, like, again, map awareness, blah, 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 you can still help. And a big part of Rainbow Six isn't really, in my opinion, getting kills. It's about setting up your teammates so that they can do better. And if they're doing the same to you, the game propels, it fucking plays itself. It's a fucking miracle product.
It's not a miracle product. Slap on that
teamwork.
Not a fucking miracle. Slap it on with the might of Zeus!
And that's why I love Rainbow Six Siege. And that's why I think a lot of people love Rainbow Six Siege. And I'm sure there's things I left out, and I'm sure there's things you disagreed with, but that's a pretty darn good list, and that's the makings of a great shooter. That's the makings of a great fucking game. Is it for me to play all the time, no matter what, because I'm the biggest fan of Rainbow Six Siege ever? No. Do I get mad at the game?
We got somebody down. Dad. It's Doc.
You're gonna tell me that's not a headshot?
Yeah, sometimes. But regardless of that, it's such a nice change of pace. I might not want to play it all the time, and I think if I did, my blood pressure would be not good.
Tell me that's not a headshot!
But still, it's a really good game, and it's such a nice change of pace from the other types of shooters I enjoy playing, which in their own right, as much as I love them, also get really goddamn annoying after a while. It's why I became a multi-FPS channel, because then I can just talk about whatever games I'm in the mood for and interested in. So even though I did a video talking about all the reasons Rainbow Six Siege isn't my cup of tea right now, I still decided to take inventory of what I liked about Rainbow Six Siege, and having a fun night playing ranked with my friends really cemented my ideas and kind of propelled me to make this video. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to support me, give this video a share, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications if you feel so inclined, and there's also support links in the description, and I will see you kids when I see you kids. Goodbye.
Did you guys hear that too?
I did.
Okay,
Fucking just
How
come
does he
around the
keep
corner.
getting muted?
what? For next round, before we kill Uzi Torres, we have to unmute him just to see, or just to hear his reaction.
Yeah,
Yep.
we do.
And hear his foreign language.
What happened?
I did spectate, I did say.
Well, we're gonna.
there for a minute and a half.
Seems like he got slapped. Okay, unmute him.
Oh
Okay, he's unmuted, time to kill him.